Moving on now, the Chinese yuan is gaining ground on the US dollar in Africa. For decades, Beijing's influence in Africa was built on infrastructure projects, but its strategy is now evolving. From bricks, steel, roads, railways and ports, China is now using its currency to assert dominance. Last month, Zambia became the first African country to let Chinese mining companies pay taxes in yuan. The country is Africa's second biggest copper producer, and China is Zambia's largest copper buyer and one of its biggest creditors. So the move is significant. The Bank of Zambia said that payments using the yuan began in October last year.
A large portion of copper exports goes to China, and the Chinese mining firms already receive some, if not all, of their payments for their exports to China in renminbi. The Bank of Zambia has diversification and building up of its reserves as a key objective, and purchasing renminbi enables the bank to actualize this objective.
Though Zambia is the first African nation to accept yuan payments, it probably won't be the last. Last year in October, Kenya also converted a part of its Chinese debt into yuan. The restructuring of its $5 billion railway loan from the Export-Imports Bank of China into yuan is expected to save the country around $250 million per year. Another African nation likely to follow Kenya's suit is Ethiopia. Back in October, Addis Ababa began discussions with Beijing regarding the conversion of its debts into yuan. According to the IMF, China remains one of Ethiopia's largest creditors. Ethiopia seeks to convert a portion of the near $5.4 billion it owes China in yuan. As of yet, yuan accounts for less than 2% of global reserves, but the expansion of its footprint will benefit both China and African nations. This is because Beijing is one of Africa's major creditors and also the biggest buyer of many African commodities. Another reason African nations might be eager to rush towards the yuan is Donald Trump's trade war. Africa has seemingly slipped to the bottom of his priority list. He has slapped tariffs on many African nations and is growing increasingly hostile. At such a crucial time, reducing reliance on the US financial system might sound like a good idea to African nations. Trump's hostility has compelled the continent to look for alternatives, and that is where China has stepped in. At a time when Washington's Africa strategy has shifted from aid to trade, Beijing is seemingly offering support. But China's larger objective remains to ditch the US dollar and internationalize its currency, the yuan. Africa has become the testing ground. Will more African nations choose Chinese yuan in the coming days? And how will the US react to it? The coming days and months will reveal that answer.
The world doesn't fit in boxes, so why should your news? From battlefields to negotiation tables, from internet outrage to real-world injustice. The conversations everyone is having and the ones they're avoiding. It's the same show, but this new year, Firstpost America gets a new look. I'm Kerry Johnston, and this is Firstpost America.